Hey, everybody, welcome back to 13 Rings and NFC East podcast. I'm your host, Lucas, with Mal, Maurice, and Earl. And we are here to talk NFC football. It is the beginning of tampering season in the NFL, which is so weird to say because legal tampering. Um, Combine's over. A lot of free agency moves have already started, and we're going to get into that. So we're actually going to start with the Commanders' first move of the offseason, and it is to bring in former Eagles Pro Bowler Zach Ertz. Now, the deal is for $5 million for 1 year, and it reunites Ertz with the Commanders' new offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. So let me ask you guys this: what are your guys' reactions to this move?
Let me go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Maurice.
I was about to say, it feels like you should be the one that goes first on this one.
Clearly Zach Ertz is at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, he wanted to sign with a team before the postseason, and nobody wanted him. So I actually think $5 million is a lot for maybe a second string tight end. I don't think he's going to be your number one tight end week one. Do you, Lucas?
No, I don't. I think this is clearly to help whatever quarterback is going to be coming in, to have somebody familiar with the offense and a safety net. Like you said, he's probably more of a second stringer. I like the move from a leadership aspect and, a professionalism aspect. I don't like the move from a salary aspect. And I get it. We have a lot of money to spend.
I don't think you spent that much for him, though.
$5 million for a backup? It feels like a lot.
I mean, yeah, but you really think it's you? I don't know. I don't know if he'll be a backup. I don't know if he will be.
Do you want me to tell you his stats from last year?
I could tell you the reason for it.
What's the reason for it, Earl?
They're going to try to bring him in to add some veteran leadership.
Well, yeah, that's the point. But do you need to pay $5 million for a veteran leader who may or may not? Look, he played 7 games for the Cardinals last year. 43 targets, 27 catches, 187 yards. That's about 6.9 yards per reception and 1 touchdown, 8 first downs.
But do you want to see Darren Waller's stats and compare those to how much we're paying him?
I mean, look.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Waller's your starting tight end.
Yeah, look, Hertz is 33, 34 right now. He's 33. He'll be 34 during the season. I like it from a leadership, and I like his familiarity with Kingsbury. I don't hate the move. I just don't like the fact that we paid $5 million. He feels like a minimum guy at this point, right?
So let me ask you this before Earl says something. Logan Thomas, who's making $8 million?
Yeah.
He's about a year younger. Would you rather have Logan Thomas or Zach Ertz?
Whew. Well, Logan Thomas was starting for us, and that was not. I mean, look, Logan was fine, but at this point, with health and everything, I don't know if I would start Logan Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asking me if I'd rather pay $8 million or $5 million for a backup, I think you know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, if you're asking me that question, who would I rather be paying for a backup? Because it feels like either we get a big name tight end in the free agency with it, which there isn't that many, or the more likely option is that we draft one. Because the guys that we have right now, outside of maybe Armani Rogers, who's coming back from an Achilles tear, who's pretty raw, there isn't a lot of pass catching, uniqueness there. So it feels like in the draft, a tight end is coming here. I just don't know what round. So, yeah, look, if you want to have a veteran mentor to that tight end as well as a veteran, leader for a young quarterback, then sure, this is a fine move. Would I like to get him for less? Absolutely. But, I'm going to trust Adam Peters for now. He's not giving me a reason not to trust him, but I don't love the move from the financial standpoint. I like the move from a roster standpoint, though.
All I'm going to tell you, Lucas, is that your team really doesn't have a good track record when it comes to tight ends. A lot of them have been injury prone.
Since Chris Cooley, yeah.
Yep. So hopefully with the signing of Ertz, it'll give veteran presence as well as teaching the young tight ends, whoever comes into the organization, to see what they got moving forward into the future. But I can tell you, Lucas, that whichever your golden boys at QB, tune in on March 20th for Caleb Williams Pro Day and Jaden Daniels on March 27th. Lock it in.
Look, I'm pretty sure Williams is going to Chicago. I'm not even thinking about Williams because if I'm the Bears and I'm decided that I'm moving on from Justin Fields, then I'm not trading out of Caleb Williams. So and it almost seems like a foregone conclusion that they are going to move on from Fields.
I don't know, Lucas. I don't know. Caleb Williams will go number one, but what team he will go to is still a question.
Yeah, he's definitely going number one.
I don't think it's locked in that the Bears are going to draft him number one.
Well, okay, let's talk about this for a second. If you're the Bears, do you think you can win with Justin Fields? I think the answer.
I do. I think they can.
But the thing is that you're going to have to pay him in 2 years, right? Versus 4 to 5 years with Caleb, right? So, if you're the Bears, what makes more sense? Now, I agree. I think Justin Fields can be a good starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if he's going to get on like the top tier, but he's a good starting quarterback, right? Like I if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm calling, right? If I'm Atlanta, I'm calling. If I'm Oakland, I'm calling, right?
Minnesota.
Maybe Minnesota if they lose out on Kirk Cousins, or dare I say, the Patriots if they decide that they want to trade back.
Mm-hmm. But like I say, my bad, Lucas. The logical thing that I could see Chicago doing if they do go that route and they trade Fields is going to go to someone who desperately needs a quarterback. If they draft Caleb Williams, they're kicking starting something for the future. They have a couple of picks coming up right after the first pick where they could look to get a receiver. And one receiver that I've seen them very interested in is Rome Odunze.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, but didn't he have a subpar 40?
But his route running and things during the combine, I saw his entire thing.
Well, I guess really you do already have a deep threat, right? With DJ Moore, so you just need to have a good route runner, which.
Right, you just need someone. You need someone to combating that.
Okay, hang on. We're getting off track here. This is not a podcast about the Chicago Bears. It's about the Commanders. Let's get back to that.
So I have a thought.
Yes.
So I do think that Justin Fields is going to go to another team. I think Caleb Williams is going to go number one. However, it's all about who you take at number two. I think going back to Zach Ertz, what really is going to be the factor with him and why you guys took him is exactly the reason of a veteran who understands the offensive scheme of Cliff Kingsbury already.
Yes.
Cliff Kingsbury is the reason that Zach Ertz is on the team. I don't think he's going to hurt you guys. I think he'll help in some way, shape, or form. We'll see if he lives up to the money. Not sure if he will, but overall, not the worst signing you could have had.
Well, and here's the thing. If you want a veteran that knows Cliff Kingsbury's offense, there's actually a former Washington QB that they could bring in. Do you guys remember who this is?
Can't say I do.
You should know him. He's University of Texas alum, great Colt McCoy. Yeah. Look, you would bring him in as a third stringer, though. Probably practice squad. But it's not impossible to bring in Colt McCoy, or maybe even bring him in as an offensive assistant. But, like, if he's really done playing, because I don't think he played last year, did he?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I think he's probably close. If he hasn't officially retired, he's been forced, to retire. But Colt McCoy coming back could help the quarterback room as like a quarterback assistant, like an offensive assistant. Absolutely, he knows the offense. That being
in that case, March 27th, check out Jaden Daniels.
Okay, so yeah, and we'll talk about quarterback because that's the poll question. We'll get to there eventually. But the Hurts stuff. Look, it's an interesting move. We all agree that he's near the tail end. He did not have a productive year last year. We'll see what happens this year. We're going to trust Adam Peters for now. We'll see what else happens. Fair enough?
I guess so.
Trust.
I mean, it's my trust. So, anyway, let's go ahead. Unless you guys have any other thoughts, let's go to our next team here, which is the Eagles. They made an interesting move today, right?
Yeah, they did. I expected this. Not now, but I expected them to release cornerback Avonte Maddox. The last 2 years, he's been very injury prone.
I was going to say, wasn't he out for a while last year with the toe injury?
Yeah, then he had like a pec injury.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, he's had a lot going on.
Also, now, I think that the Eagles need to redo the secondary, but that might just be the start.
Agreed. But hey, Maurice, there is something that that should be noted about the Eagles releasing Maddox, is that both sides will talk and are open to a reunion as well, like continuing the partnership.
Yeah, so, he can come back on a better deal for sure.
Yeah, because I think he was owed like either 7.9 or 9.7 million this year, something around that range.
Yeah, he had a $9.6 million salary cap hit for 2024. So
yeah,
he just, if he was healthy and playing majority of the games, I think he would still be here. He's one of the best slot corners in the league, but he just got to stay on the field, man. Availability is so important. So all in all, and I've seen a lot of chatter on social media with Eagles fans. They want to bring in this guy. They want to bring in that guy. There's a lot of good secondary free agents going to be available in free agency. Mm-hmm. I'll say that. I just want them to get younger. I don't want them to bring in. I heard C.J. Gardner. I've heard a lot of talk about Xavier McKinney now. I wouldn't be against that one.
Well, we're gonna get to Xavier. We're gonna get to Xavier. Hold off on that. Yeah. Hold off on that just a little bit.
All right, I'll hold up.
Well, the Bills actually just released Jordan Poyer. What do you think about him?
Ooh, that's not a
Tre'Davious White as well.
Yep.
This free agency is going to be really deep at a lot of positions.
Yeah, except for wide receiver, because they're basically all tagged or off the board.
Yes, but the draft is good for wide receivers.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. So Avonte Maddox, I just want the Eagles to get a little younger at the position. Slay is 32. I've heard rumblings about them bringing back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's really 32 already?
Darius Slay?
Yeah, he's really 32 already?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like he's been in the league for that long.
He's been in the league. Let me see. Actually, he's 33.
Wow.
So, yeah. So he's 33. You already know how I feel about James Bradbury.
Well, okay. Hey, yeah.
You know how I feel about James Bradbury.
I like James Bradbury when I'm playing against him.
Okay. You had me there for a second.
Yeah, I had you, right?
Yeah. They just need to get younger at that position. Secondary, they got Reed Blankenship. Cindy Brown's going to be coming off of ACL. I mean, they could use somebody there, but they need the secondary in general just need to get younger. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about our secondary right now? You think we should go veteran and keep the ball rolling and see what Vic Fangio does, or you think we should go young?
Before I answer
think.
That, sorry,
go ahead. No, Lucas, you go ahead.
No, you go. Mal, go ahead.
It's okay. So I think you guys should go young. I think you need to completely have a redo. I think that veteran, there should be one or two in there. I think you should sign a veteran safety and one veteran corner, and then I think you should draft a corner. And I think that will help. A veteran, I don't mean an older veteran, but like I said, there's a few cornerbacks in free agency to look at.
Fuller.
Yeah, listen, there's Kendall Fuller.
Yeah, he's going to be a free agent.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But yeah, no, there's quite a few cornerbacks in the free agency here. And also the draft is good for the corner position. I saw quite a few that have been putting up some pretty good numbers at the combine. So I think that no matter what, that is the ultimate position that you guys need to address, because on offense, besides Jason Kelce being gone, that's a huge loss, I will say.
We're going to get to that in a second.
I know, that's why I was just bringing it up. I'm sorry. But besides that, I think that your secondary is really the area that you need to focus, because your D-line is pretty young and they're solid. So I think that a redo of the secondary would probably work. But go ahead, Lucas.
I was just going to ask Maurice, what is the salary cap situation like for the Eagles? Because I think that impacts whether or not you go younger or older.
Well, we're around $50 million.
So you have a little bit of space then.
Yeah, we got some space, and we got an extra second-round draft pick as well.
Okay, then I think Mal's plan of getting one veteran, younger veteran at each position would be good, and then focusing getting the rest of the depth in the draft, because you want to have somebody that can help the younger guys fill their way through the league, but can still contribute. So yeah, if we can't retain Kendall Fuller or Cam Curl, then I wouldn't be surprised if you guys try to poach them. They're solid starters. They're not world breakers or anything, but they're solid. So that's something to consider. But Maurice, I wanted to go with the Maddox news because that's fresher. But the biggest news in Eagles Nation is that Jason Kelce retired.
Officially.
Pour out your heart to us. Yes, officially retired. So pour out your heart to us now.
I am not going to pour out my heart. As a fan of his, I've said this on a podcast a couple episodes ago, but it wasn't official at that time. He made it official yesterday with an emotional press conference speech. It was very emotional. Anybody who knows Jason Kelce or even listens to his podcast with his brother, which is a good podcast. He's a very emotional dude. So when you put that much hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into a 13-year career, All-Pro, everybody's saying first ballot Hall of Famer in 2029, which I agree with. Yeah, you can go up there and cry all you want. And I think even when it comes to rivalries between fans in the division, even the most diehard fans who hate the Philadelphia Eagles can, salute and clap and say good job to Jason Kelce for the career. He's had a great career and he's going to be missed.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. I'll say this. I think the argument could be made that Jason Kelce is arguably the best center to ever play in the NFC East. And that's
without a doubt.
Yeah.
I could agree with that. I also think, Maurice, I have a question for you. Who do you foresee replacing him?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, Cam Jurgens, who was our guard, was drafted to replace Jason Kelce.
Okay.
3 seasons ago, but Jason stayed. He didn't retire, so they moved him to guard. So he will be moved to the slot. I mean, to the center position, and they will have to draft a right guard for sure.
Okay.
Tyler Steen, they drafted him last year in the second round. He really hasn't impressed me. We'll see after one season. We'll see if he's grown into a guard because he was drafted as a tackle. So we will see how his progression has gone when training camp comes around. But regardless of that, they do need to draft a lineman or two just for depth.
Yeah, look, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, look, so I'm actually really curious because I'm excited to see how Jason does at Travis's games moving forward. Because not only now will we all be watching for Taylor Swift, we'll be watching for Jason Kelce, the super fan, in the crowd.
He's
with his shirt off, drinking beers. It's going to be fantastic.
He's already made a reputation for being the life of the party. I just seen a clip of him jumping on a flaming table.
What?
Yeah.
You gotta send us that later.
Yeah, he's going to be the life of the party, man. He's a very entertaining dude outside of football. So, the best of luck to him in whatever endeavors he does in the future.
Yeah, agreed. He He's definitely a phenomenal center, and I understand I'm a rival to the Eagles, but I respect it a lot out of Jason Kelsey just on how he anchors and be the quarterback of the offense. Credit to him on a 13-year career. He's definitely a phenomenal center, and respect to him moving forward. Definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So can we all say that? I mean, is there any centers in the NFC East history that rival Jason Kelsey, or is it not even close?
Mark Stepnoski.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Not yet.
Okay.
Won 3 championships with the Cowboys in the 90s.
Okay. I can't think of anybody from the Hogs in the 80s off the top of my head, but I could be wrong. Not really great on my football history as I should be, though. That being said, let's go ahead and transition now to tell us, Earl, how about them boys?
Yeah, these boys are allegedly going all in, as I quote this. Apparently, Tyron Smith is looking elsewhere to find a new home.
That doesn't feel like going all in.
Hey, I really don't know what it is, but I'm gonna try to work around this. Tyron Smith, he has had a really great career with Dallas, and I feel like over the last couple of years he's been battling injuries, and they're really just managing his practice time as well as just trying to get on the field. And I think there was a tie-in with the money situation because Dallas is rounded up, but they're 10.6 million over the cap. So I'm just gonna round that up to 11 million over the cap. And I guess the money situation didn't work, and maybe Dallas is leaning towards a younger direction, in which kicking out Tyler Smith from left guard to left tackle. He did a really great job at that, but at the same time, I think for moving forward, if you're looking to reassemble the offensive line, you're gonna have to interchange out. You're gonna change out the old and add the new and build for the future. I did a little rough chart with the offensive line with Tyron Smith out of the mix. You kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle. You move undrafted rookie TJ Bass to left guard. Right guard, you have Zach Martin. You're going to have to start looking for his replacement. And then you have Terrence Steele at right tackle. I think going into this draft, I believe Dallas needs a center, someone that can be a quarterback of the offense for the future. I feel like Tyler Biotish, who's been our center the last couple of years, he really hasn't fit that mold that needs to be done with being a center. And knowing with Stephen Jones and how he loves his coins, he's basically going to try to re-sign him. But I think it's best going into this draft, maybe in the first round, to get a center, a really agile, physical presence as a center that can anchor the offensive line. I think that's really key for Dallas moving forward. So I'm not sure where Tyron Smith will go. I just wish him the very best moving forward because he finished out this past season as an all pro. And that's with a short amount of time in games. And he's also helped Tyler Smith at being an all pro left guard. Now my biggest problem is now we got to figure out how to shuffle this line. And out of nowhere, I feel like it's a situation where the offensive line went from Kool-Aid to prune juice. And it's just bad.
I
Kool-Aid
like
to
that
prune
analogy.
juice?
So hopefully there's a situation where they can address that and hopefully I honestly want a center. I know it's like a lot of top skill position guys, but if one is there, you have to pull the trigger and take one because you can solidify your offensive line for the next 3 to 5 years on the progression. Because you have Tyler Smith that is looking like to be the next Tyron Smith at left tackle. You shore up the left guard situation. He's going in his second year, TJ Bass. And then the center is the question mark. You got Zach Martin, all pro. He's solidifying himself as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not sure how many years he's got left. And then Terrence Steele is coming off an ACL tear, and he's just got to get his legs back. So it's just really shaky right now.
Hey, Earl. I don't mean to interrupt, but I got the perfect option for you guys at center in the draft. You ready for it? Zach Frazier, West Virginia. And he's not just because he's West Virginia. I'm pretty sure he's an All-American.
You will always advocate for West Virginia.
I was about to ask you about Bryce Ford Whedon. Is he going to be on the team next year?
I don't know.
I hope so.
He should be because he's coming back from an ACL tear, so we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Earl, check out Zach Frazier, West Virginia.
No, there's actually a center from my favorite college,
UNC.
UNC, but he's on the ops. It's Duke center Barton. He's 6'5", 360, and he's interchangeable. He could play left tackle, he could play left guard, but he mainly plays center. He's been really catching my eye just on trying to get the offense going with the run game. I feel like last year was just a lame duck year for the run game. They really didn't take it seriously. And hopefully this time around, you can address the center and get a running back to complement Tony Pollard. I found out that Tony Pollard is willing to take a pay cut, but at the same time will test free agency. Now, I know during the past couple of podcasts, I've been saying he needs a Mario because all he is Luigi. That's still the case. The one thing you would have to do is you got to figure out, and I'm going to say this correctly, in fixing the offensive line, you got to fix the how and then pair it with the who. So if you address the offensive line, then you got to pair that with a running back that complements the offensive line to get yourself back going in the right direction and what helped get you to championships back in the 90s, where you got to take the ball out the quarterback hands and not fully have him rely to win the game, but to utilize a ground game. What travels in the postseason is run game, stopping the run. That's pretty much the bread and butter to that.
I think you guys should go after King Henry himself as the running back.
I think they should not. And my situation with that is, they're saying that I'm going to say King Henry basically is going to be a huge price tag. I would say the same for Josh Jacobs. The logical thing that could happen that probably won't happen is that they go after a low budget cap boy running back. And the situation with Rico Dowdle, he's one of our guys. And that is the biggest problem with the Cowboys, is that they rely too much on their guys instead of getting guys who can ball out and play the game. I just feel like that's really just hindering them as a whole. And Stephen Jones, he has the opportunity to change the narrative within himself, but he doesn't want to do that. And that's the annoying and frustrating part of the whole situation. Now, if a running back they can get in the draft, there's a couple that I would like for them to pair with Tony Pollard if they decide to re-sign him. One is Wisconsin's running back, Braylon Allen. He's a big guy. He's like 6'3", 230 pounds. Very agile. I would take him over King Henry, who's pretty much shown that he can run, but I need young legs. I need this offense to go young. I'm tired of the old. I'm ready for the new. And with it, like, I'm seeing this team go from Kool-Aid to prune juice. I'm not saying that just to say it. I'm seeing it in real time, and it's really odd. At this point, you could throw a running back to do some blocking or something like that, but I just need to see some of the traditional side of things that get them going in the right direction. And I digress with that situation.
All right, Earl. Thanks for sharing those thoughts. Let's get to let's get to Mal and the Giants now, because the Giants have made some very interesting free agent choices or decisions, right, Mal?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not surprised really with either. I didn't think that either of them would be tagged. I don't think Joe Shane wanted to use a tag this year, which I totally get. With Daniel Jones's contract absolutely beginning to cripple us, but that's a whole other different story that we don't need to get into right now. The futures of Barkley and McKinney are totally up in the air. Now, I will say this, guys. I'm getting really exhausted of the Saquon Barkley saga. In the end, where will they land? So, McKinney, I think he's going to get paid somewhere. I'm not sure on the team. I don't think it will be within the division. I think it'll be another safety needy team. I don't know exactly who's in the market for a safety right now, but I mean, the Bills don't have any money. They had to cut so many people because of their cap space.
I see the Bears.
I could see the Bears, and I could also see the Jets. The Jets do
Okay.
need a safety, and I do think they will pull the trigger to make their defense the next level, especially with Sauce and DJ Reed on the outside. I do think McKinney would complement that defense well. So I do think McKinney will leave. However, Saquon Barkley, I don't think he will.
Ooh.
I think that Saquon is going to go out and test the market, and he's not going to get what he wants, because unless it's a deal similar to what Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs get, it all depends on their market and what they sign for. Saquon is probably going to get around the same as them. To be quite honest, Derrick Henry will probably get more because Derrick Henry has had more production. So I do think in the end, Saquon will come back because he isn't going to get what he really wants. And the Giants will go back on their original offer, which don't know if that will change. Don't know if it'll go up or down. It all depends. I'm okay with letting him go at this point. I think the team has way too many needs. I will miss him very much. I will miss McKinney too. But at this point, the Giants just have so many things wrong that need to be addressed that I think we need to kind of circle back and figure out there. It affects the draft in the way that if we don't sign a safety or a running back in free agency, we have to draft them. And the unfortunate truth is we have so many positions that we need to fix. Quarterback, wide receiver. We never had a true number one wide receiver since Odell Beckham Jr. It's been a really long time. We need defensive line help because we traded away Leonard Williams. We need offensive line help really, really badly. So it affects the draft in a lot of ways because that's two positions and two picks that we would have to use on these two particular positions. What do you guys think?
So I'll go first here. I think they're both gone. I think they're both gone. And I see the Commanders going after Xavier McKinney. We need a safety. We need safety help. He's young. He's what, 24?
Yes.
How are you guys letting him walk? That just blows my mind.
I don't think we have the cap space to do it, to be quite honest with you.
Well, we do. So I would not be surprised I would not be surprised if we poach him. I actually kind of want that because he was putting up some really good numbers last year. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't make the Pro Bowl. That being said, Saquon is a different story. Now, a lot of people are. I think that last offseason with the Daniel Jones deal and him not getting the deal that he wanted leaves a bad and sour taste in Saquon's mouth. Now, I know he said all publicly that he would want to come back. I don't think that happens. I think, and he's not going to go to Texas as we've talked about in the past. I don't think so. I think if he wants to win, he wants to go to a proven quarterback and a proven head coach. And you know what a team this offseason has both? The San Diego Chargers. Put him with Justin Herbert.
You mean Los Angeles Chargers?
Didn't they just pay Eckler, though?
No, Eckler's
No, they didn't.
Oh, he is? Okay, so he's on the board, too.
Yeah, Eckler's on the board, too. But yeah, no, sorry, Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry, old habits die hard. But in all seriousness, the fit's there. He's Harbaugh likes running on offense. He's a runner. They have a young, promising quarterback. I don't see why not. Tell me that that's not a good fit for Saquon.
So do you think Saquon is an upgrade over Josh Jacobs?
Well, no.
Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler.
Oh yeah, he also Eckler. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think so. Austin Eckler's more of a pass catcher.
I think my personal opinion. I think Eckler and Barkley are around the same. In my honest opinion,
I think overall value, yes, but what they bring to the table is completely different. I think Eckler's more of a like a specialist in terms of pass catching, but in terms of being an overall balanced running back, that goes more to Saquon. And Saquon can run between the numbers. Not saying that Eckler can't, but Saquon's so much better at it.
Yeah, you also have to remember the fact that Saquon's getting a bit older and he has a significant injury history. I just don't know what he's looking for money-wise or what team is willing to. I'm sure some team will.
Let's talk about the contract. What is he worth in today's running back market? I think the highest paid running back right now is what, 16 mil a year, and that's Christian McCaffrey, right?
Earl, you said 7 mil?
Under
7 mil.
He will not take that.
No, way more.
No. I think
he will not take that.
I think he's between 9 and 10 mil.
He won't take that either. I don't think.
I say 12 to 13.
The only reason why I say that is due to his health.
Yeah.
Because even though if you give him a big contract, can he fully stay healthy to play through that contract?
Well, let's talk about it. Can we do a contract where he has a 3-year deal, but all the money's guaranteed in the first year or first year and a half?
That's the problem, though. That's not what he wants. He wants a predominantly guaranteed contract worth 12 to 13 mil. I think he declined a $12 million contract from the Giants last year.
So that was a mistake.
This is why I don't know if a team is going to give him what he really is asking, because he's not going to make McCaffrey money. That's not happening.
No.
Right.
Well, okay. Let's just rephrase the question. Rank wise, where do you have Saquon among running backs in the NFL? Is he a top 5, top 10, top 15?
I'd say top 10.
I say top 10 too.
Yeah, top 10.
Top 10.
Okay, so what does top 10 like? We all agree that running backs are grossly underpaid and not given fair value for what they bring to the team, right? So we have to work within the confines of what they are being offered. Now, Saquon might think he might want like 14, 15 mil, and maybe he's actually worth that, but NFL teams are not going to pay him that. So realistically, what if Saquon wanted to come to your team right now, guys? What should your team be willing to pay him, regardless of your running? Like Maurice, Swift is on the market. You don't have a number 1 running back. Earl, you don't have a number 1 running back. Mal, you don't have a number 1 running back. My team's the only one that has a number 1 running back right now. So I'm going to remove myself from this. So, what if you were in the front office? What would you tell your GM to pay Saquon in order to get him to your team? Maurice, you go first.
Before I answer that question,
you're working within the salary cap of what your team has.
I'm on sporadic.com.
Okay.
Top 5 in let's do total. Should I do total cash or cap hit?
Let's do total cash.
All right, so total cash is lower than you actually think. Nick Chubb makes the most with $12 million.
Really?
Aaron Jones has $12 million.
Wow,
Christian McCaffrey has $12 million. Alvin Kamara has 11.8, and Jonathan Taylor is at 8.3. So it's not as high as we all think.
8.3 for Jonathan Taylor. Okay,
that's top 5.
Okay, wow, that's actually really a lot lower than I thought it would be for number 5 there. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do we got for Saquon? What do you think he's worth per year? Or Earl, you go first. What would the Dallas Cowboys be willing to give Saquon?
I don't know. With my situation, they're gonna try to have him take less. So I'm gonna estimate it between maybe 7 mil for at least maybe 2 years.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be something that's like major, because they're gonna try to win the value of the dollar. And I think the biggest problem with that is a player might want maybe an extra mil or so from it. But I think a solid 7 mil, 2 years be fine.
Okay. What about you, Maurice? What should the Eagles be willing to pay Saquon Barkley?
Well, the Eagles are notoriously known for not paying running backs.
Facts.
Yeah, we just don't.
What would they offer Saquon?
They will offer Saquon 7 to 8 million for. I can do 3 years guaranteed. I think Howie would do that for a caliber running back like Saquon. 8 to 10.
Okay.
Let me. I'll say 7 to 9, 3 years guaranteed.
Okay. Mal, if you were in Joe Schoen's ear, what would you tell him to pay Saquon?
Based on the value to him to the Giants franchise and what we previously offered him, I would give 11 million for 3 years.
Fair enough. All right. Does Saquon take any of those deals, guys? Yeah.
No.
Or nay? No.
Nope.
No, I think at this point he'll probably go to the team he thinks he can get the most success with.
Correct.
I think that would be the Chiefs.
Ooh,
They have Pacheco
Chiefs.
though.
Yeah, they have Pacheco.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
Pacheco's
That's
good.
the other reason why I said the Chargers, because you have Harbaugh and you have Herbert.
Yeah, you have Pacheco, but still, like, you also got to count for how much you run Pacheco. So if you split the time on how well they can change up their offense, it could work.
Don't they already have a solid backup in Clyde's Edward or whatever his name is?
Actually, they do, but they use more of Jerick McKinnon.
He's a pass catching back.
Right. So if depending on how well they can interchange it, Saquon would probably fit well with what the Chiefs do.
Oh, great.
I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a deep running back free agency class.
I'm looking at
DeAndre
the draft.
Swift was like an all-pro running back this year. He's probably like the 5th running back that's going to go off the board.
Yeah,
So
5th or 6th, yeah.
So I think he could easily come back to the Eagles at a good number too. Maybe 5-6 million.
We're not talking about the Eagles. We're not talking about Swift.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine though. No, I think he would. I think he comes back to Philly too. Like I said, I think the Chargers are a good fit for Saquon if he does not return to New York. And honestly, with the uncertainty with Jones, with the look, now there's rumors that maybe if Daboll doesn't get it done this year, Bill Belichick comes in. I wouldn't do that if I'm New York, but who knows, right, Mal?
I mean, he was the defensive coordinator with the Giants at one point.
I'm just let this season play out and we'll see what happens because I'm tired of it all.
You're tired?
I'm tired.
I respect it.
I'm tired.
Whenever I hear somebody say I'm tired, I think of the movie Blazing Saddles, and I think of the German woman singing "I'm so tired."
That's me.
That you know what I'm referencing right now?
Yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Yes, I that's what I thought of when you said it. I'm like, okay, that's Mal right now.
Literally.
So, look, the Giants are going to have some interesting choices. The running back free agent. I'm glad that my team actually has a running back and we don't have to worry about this. Now, I think if I remember correctly, we do have somebody on our depth chart at running back becoming a free agent, but it's not Robinson. Who is
Lucas, do you think Robinson can carry most of the workload?
I think he can as long as he can stay healthy. The question is, can he stay healthy? Rookie year, he got a shot in the leg, and then last year he did deal with a little bit of injury. But I think let's wait one more year to figure out that answer.
Yeah, and Gibson's a good number 2.
Oh yeah, Gibson. That's right. Gibson's the one that's going to be a free agent, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to be a free agent.
I mean, look, we might be able to retain him. I don't know if we bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
There were some ups and downs there, especially with the fumbleitis, but we'll see. That being said,
Matt, let me ask Matt one question.
Okay.
Sure.
Would you be upset? How you will be upset? How upset would you be if McKinney signed with the Eagles?
I mean, yeah, I'd be like, that sucks, but in the end, I want him to get paid. I want him to go to a team that can be successful for him, is what it is, in my opinion.
I was thinking today, about the Giants, about their quarterback situation. I know this is off topic. And I was thinking of somebody, and I can't remember who it is now, but I was like, that would be a great person to have in the quarterback room. And for the life of me, no, quarterback room.
Well, okay. As a backup quarterback.
Yeah, as a backup quarterback. And I can't remember who it was. I know you don't want Justin Fields. Was I thinking Kirk Cousins? No, it wasn't Kirk.
I'll take Kirk. I love Kirk.
Really?
I'm a Kirk enthusiast. I love that man.
You just like his viral stuff.
Yeah, he's just great. Great vibes.
Let's see here. I don't know if Kirk, you would have this trade Daniel Jones. That's fine. Sign and trade to. Okay, let's talk about this. If Minnesota's like, okay, we'll trade you, we'll do a sign and trade with Kirk Cousins. You know, send you. We'll take Daniel Jones, but you have to send us your second round pick. Would you do it?
No, I'm not doing that.
What is the highest pick you're willing to give up to get Kirk Cousins?
A third.
A third? Does that sound fair to you guys?
Yeah, that's fair.
It does. I'm not. It does, but I'm not the biggest Kirk Cousins fan.
I mean, he's 36, coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. But
yeah.
Who was thinking the Giants are better at just going and drafting Michael Penix.
I think.
We need to draft someone.
I think Penix would be a good pickup for you guys. You guys could trade back to the first round too. So
yeah,
not impossible there. All right, but it's time for our mailbag. And Earl, you are up this week.
The Dallas Cowboy mailbag. We actually have one comment from a follower of us, Maple. His biggest topic right now is the Dak re-up. He states that Jerry Jones commented saying Cowboys are all in with or without a contract getting done. My thoughts on that. I believe they really didn't want to pay Dak Prescott from the start, but he started having success and they just really were kind of shaky in the hands. They had two shakies and they were out. And they pretty much paid him. Not only that, you have a chance to rewrite the wrong you did the first time, but they're continuing to let that price go up on Dak Prescott, regardless of what he does in the postseason. His regular season numbers is what's getting him secure in that bag. And with them putting that no trade clause in, you have to honor that. Now, I heard that if they were to do this to change up the money and get Dak removed from that trade clause, then you might have some room there. I feel like the situation with them bringing in Trey Lance, trading the fourth for it, was to get under Dak Prescott's skin. It clearly didn't. So right now, you're in a battle of, if you don't pay Dak the money, the price tag is going to go up. It's going to hit about $60 million. That's a lot, but at the same time, they created this hole. Now they have to lie in it. I just think overall with what they do with Dak in the contract, they're more than likely, and I think this is going to happen, they're going to have him play on that final year, and that's going to be the determination factor. And that also means on the head coach and some of the players as well on 1-year deals, just playing out their contract. But I also know that there's a possibility they could use Trey Lance as a trading piece in the upcoming draft. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, I believe a deal should be done, but how the Joneses are moving, I don't think a deal is going to get done.
Oh, so wait a minute. So I remember a couple of weeks ago, Earl, you were saying you're ready to move on from Dak, Mike McCarthy. So you want to bring him back on a new deal?
I would like a new deal, but I also would want Dak to go somewhere where he's appreciated. I just don't think the Joneses appreciate Dak Prescott and what he was able to bring to Dallas while still self-sabotaging him and handicapping him on what he's capable of doing. I feel like if they would have continued to keep the running game as the main focus, you would see more of Dak's progression to help him moving forward. they're really just setting them up to fail with what they're doing, aligning with the team. And I just think Dak Prescott deserves better from it in the situation he has. Now, I believe if Dak Prescott was on another team, he would probably do a lot better than what he's doing. And even if you paired him up with a top team, which makes him a juggernaut, he still can make those passes, but more than likely they're going to take the ball out of his hands and win with their skill guys as well in the traditional focus. So, I mean, yeah, if you pay him, that's great. But if you don't pay him, it shows where your true colors lie. And I feel like their colors have been the same since when he became the starter in 2016.
So yeah, look, they're in a rock and a hard place. They have no the Cowboys have no leverage. Dak has all the leverage because if he
they lost it.
Yeah, they lost it. And who are you going to replace Dak with? That's going to be an upgrade. There is no upgrade available.
That's a good question.
Yeah, no, not.
I mean, like Kirk Cousins isn't an upgrade, and he's the biggest nose. Russell Wilson? No. Like so. Oh, that's who I was thinking of. Mal, what if you guys signed Russell Wilson to a minimum?
No.
No. Just insurance for Daniel Jones in case he gets injured or he's.
What insurance?
He's better than Daniel Jones was last year. He was a good quarterback last year. 2 years ago he was awful, but last year he was good. But no,
I don't think Russ would be good in the market. But.
Okay, well,
no.
Agree to disagree on that one. But getting back to Earl and his quarterbacks thing. Look, until you guys decide to draft somebody, because I don't think Trey Lance is it, and I mean,
when you say not it, he really hasn't shown what he can do yet.
I mean, look, I would love to be proven wrong, but there's a reason why San Francisco let him go, despite trading up to draft him in the first round with a 3rd overall pick. They traded him for a 4th, and that was the best deal that they could get for him. So
no, it was a deal that dealt with Shanahan and his system. Lance didn't fit the system like Purdy did. You know what? That's dealing with the Niners because Shanahan wanted that quarterback to fit his system. And you've seen where that has gone.
I'm just saying. But let's keep it moving. And it is time for team trivia, Mal.
Oh yeah, awesome. Let's do team trivia. So NFC East team trivia this week we had the New York Giants. So how many times have the New York Giants selected a QB in the first round during the Super Bowl era, and who were they? So we actually had one response, and it was kind of accurate.
Kind of.
So, yeah, kind of. The answer is 3, and it was Daniel Jones, Phillip Rivers, and Phil Simms.
Now, it should be noted that the person that answered it did say
Dave Brown.
Dave Brown, and technically he was a first-round pick, but in the supplemental draft, so we are not going to count that as a first-round pick. Good grab though. I didn't even know that you guys just drafted somebody in the supplemental draft. So
yeah,
that was
he really knew his stuff.
He knew his stuff, but that was not the correct answer to our question. Still, good stuff. Who was that person, by the way?
His name is David Seidenfrau.
Kudos, David. We appreciate you.
Good job, David.
Salute.
I think we can move on to who's that player now.
Yep, and that's Maurice covering the Commanders.
Who's that football player?
You know, Earl, I'm really gonna have you record that so that we can just use that sound bite moving forward. That would be fantastic.
Hey, I'd be down for it.
Or we all just say it because it's like a group of people shouting on the Pokemon show. Anyway, go ahead, Maurice.
All right, I'll go ahead. Earl, Lucas, why are you watching? Are you still watching Pokemon now?
No, I don't watch it, but I do play Pokemon Go on my phone sometimes.
And I played a card game.
Oh, now or back then?
I'll do it every now and then. I'm more into Digimon though.
You just learned something new from Earl. Okay. All right. Anyway, moving on. Who was that player? Was that good enough, Lucas?
That's good enough for me. That's good.
Perfect.
D'Angelo Hall, Kansas City, Washington Commanders legend, Would you call him a legend, Lucas?
I would say that he is a fan favorite and very good player. I don't know if I can say legend because we didn't really win that many playoff games, but that's not really his fault.
Okay. Well, D'Angelo Hall was drafted by the Raiders in the 2004 draft, and he was actually released and then signed to the Redskins at that time in 2008, and he played there until his retiring year, which was 2017. Played majority cornerback, a little safety. Well, he was a 3-time All-Pro, 05, 06, and 2010. He's one of the Commanders' 90 greatest players.
Ayo.
And had a heck of a career. He really did. Overall, 730 tackles, 2 sacks, 11 forced fumbles, 15 fumble recoveries, 43 interceptions. That's pretty good. Yeah. And 10 touchdowns.
It should be noted the year that that we used for the Who's That Player was the 2010 season. The only time that he did get a All-Pro selection, and in that All-Pro selection, that season he had 6 interceptions, 92 yards, 1 TD, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 32 yards, 1 touchdown, 95 total tackles, and 4 tackles for loss.
Yeah, that's a big blunder on, we were talking about systems earlier. That's a big blunder by the Raiders to release a player who went on to be a 3-time Pro Bowler. So good job for you guys to pick him up. And he's been a staple player for that team for a decade.
Yeah, absolutely. So now it's time to go to our poll question of the week. And this poll question was also Commander's question, and here it is. So we put on Twitter, who will be the Washington Commanders starting QB week 1 next season? With the majority in his favor, at 43%, Jaden Daniels got the number 1 spot. But it was interesting. Sam Howell got number 2 with 29%, Drake May with 19%, and other was 10%. There were 21 votes total. So let me ask you guys, who did you guys vote for in this?
I picked Sam Howell.
Interesting. Maurice?
I picked Howell too, only because if you guys do draft a quarterback, you're probably not going to play week 1.
Yeah, that was the reason I picked Sam Howell also.
Wow. Okay, so we have Sam Howell fans in this podcast. And look, would I be mad if Sam Howell started week 1? No, but I also really believe Jaden Daniels can start week 1. So just my thoughts.
You already penciling Daniels in as your franchise QB?
I mean, look, a guy can dream. And I am definitely dreaming of purple and gold turning to burgundy and gold. So
okay,
that's the way I see it. So on that note, Mal is actually going to do our outro this week. So I will give it to Mal, and she's going to go ahead and take it away.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Please make sure you follow us on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Music at 13 Rings and NFC East Podcasts. Please make sure you also follow us on social media, which we are on Facebook, Twitter, or X, and Instagram at 13 Rings and NFC East Podcasts. And please make sure you subscribe to our new YouTube page at 13 Rings and NFC East Podcasts. Everyone have a great night.
See ya.
Blessings.
Let's have a good one.